The mentor's role is very important in terms of developing the relationship and encouraging the mentee sometimes when they need that nudge. As a mentor, the first thing you do is to help your mentee to define what should be the mentoring goals. You know, at Thrive, we have a 6-month relationship. So what is it that is realistic in terms of mentoring developmental goals for these 6 months? Focus on those, and I think focusing on the development goals really helps the journey to be successful, both for the mentor and for the mentee. I would also urge the mentors to sponsor the developmental activities of the mentees. Now, what does this sponsorship look like? It can be very simple things, you know, it can be maybe allow them to shadow you in some important conversations, you know, where they can listen in and learn from the way you interact, maybe the way you negotiate. Maybe you invite them to a conference that you are going to go to. Maybe you share with them something interesting that you read. Maybe you introduce them to somebody in your network that might be useful for them in some ways. But essentially, what you're doing is sponsoring developmental activities for the mentee. A lot is known about the role of the mentor, which is around guiding and counseling. Guiding usually comes through your own experiences. So the mentee comes to you with a particular problem, and then you're able to say, okay, ask them open questions, help them to arrive at their own answers, and maybe sometimes also suggest to them, if I were you, this is what I could have done. This is what I recommend based on my experience. Often an underlooked competency, or let's say a role that a mentor can bring to the mentoring relationship, is teaching. We all, I think, as adults do not teach enough, and we do not learn enough, at least in a more systematic, structured way. And I think that's what a mentor can do for you. You can learn from the mentee, can learn, and a mentor can teach. And the teaching can be around a skill set, but it could be just about how is it that you make decisions, for instance. You know, teach them about your mental models. How do you think? How do you analyze? How do you arrive at solutions? And you can do the same process, of course, by asking them questions in a much more coaching style.